This video will show you step by step how to book your first partial on DAT1 in 2026. Now, if you're new to the video, my name is Entre Mike with an Entre short for entrepreneur, and we go over tips and tricks on how to help you start and grow your box truck business the right way. Now, partialing is something that always gets asked very often, and there are a lot of confusion and misconceptions on how to partial freight, in a box truck, and what is a partial, honestly, right? So we're going to cover 6 different topics. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, make sure you like it. There will also be access to a free trucker playbook if you guys haven't started your trucking business just yet. And this video is sponsored by DAT1, so you can save 10% in your first year with the unique URL in the link tree, description, or playbook. So I hope you guys take advantage of that, and let's get into it. So let's go ahead and hit the 6 topics that we're going to cover today. The first one is learning your cost per mile, right? So we got a cost per mile tool on entremite.com, and we're not going to really go too deep into that at this current point, but learning your cost per mile is going to be the first step. Then number 2 is going to be learning your equipment. Chapter number 3 will be going over the difference between a partial and a full truckload within a box truck. Chapter 4 is going to go over when you should partial on your truck throughout the week. Chapter 5 will go over how often you should partial and why, honestly. And then the 6th chapter will be the best way to look for partials on DAT1. So we're going to do a full tutorial for you guys, showing you guys step by step on the load board. But let's go ahead and hop in chapter 1 and go over why your cost per mile is important when it comes to partial and freight. So when you think of a partial, think of just at having multiple loads or freight on your truck, right? So you're automatically going to have a few drops, and you want to make sure those drops are very aligned with each other. Now, something that's super important for you to know before you even book your first partial is your cost per mile. The reason why is, let's say your cost per mile is $1.50 to operate profitably, meaning you're going to make a little bit of profit after the load, be able to pay yourself, put away for maintenance, pay your fuel, insurance, tolls, etc. Right? Let's say that number is $1.50. If you go book 2 partials for $1 a mile, and then one of those loads cancel, right? So you had 2 loads that were paying $1 a mile, so you were at $2 a mile, which is another 50 cent worth of profit per mile. But then one of those loads cancels on you, within an hour. The broker lets you know, and there's nothing you can do about it. They may issue a truck order not used, but usually those average $150, so it's not really gonna add on too much to that dollar that you got left, right, in the other load. And then you say to yourself, well, Mike, if one of those loads cancel and I'm left with $1 a mile, I'm just gonna cancel the other load, right? It doesn't necessarily work that way in trucking. You can't just accept and decline loads at any time. Now, some people may tell you, hey, I cancel loads all the time and it doesn't affect me. Then you have those brokers who will issue a freight guard on your authority for accepting the rate confirmation, signing it and sending it back, and then canceling that load for personal reasons. Now, there are valid reasons on why you're canceling a load, and if you cancel, within a timely manner, usually a broker won't give you too much on it. But if you cancel that same day that you're supposed to be picking it up, you got to think it's that broker's responsibility to reload that truck as soon as possible. So you want to make sure you're being very careful about booking loads that's under your cost per mile if you don't already have a full truckload, booked. Now, we'll get into that topic later. 2nd chapter is going to be learning your equipment. So I just want to go over 3 broad examples of different equipment types from 16 feet to 26 feet. So in this example, it's going to be the 16-foot box truck, the 24-foot box truck, and 26. I feel like those are the most common box trucks in the industry. Now, as you guys may know, the 26-foot box truck is going to give you the most available capacity, but your clearance of the box truck does matter, not only at the door, but also within the box. So let's just assume you're at least 96 by 96. So you can take 48 by 48 pallets in all of these trucks, and let's just say your inside width is 102 by 103, because that's usually most common for trucks that are 96 by 96 at the door. That means for a 26-foot box truck, you should at maximum capacity be able to haul, depending on how they're loaded, 12 to 14 pallets at maximum capacity. Now, for a 24-foot box truck, you're at around 10 to 12 pallets. And a 16-foot box truck, I believe you're around 8 pallets, 6 to 8 pallets or 8 pallets. So you want to know how many pallets you can haul, because usually most of the time with a box truck, you're going to be hauling palletized freight. So knowing how many pallets you have left to work with when partialing freight is going to be super important. But not only pallets, but weight will also be important. right? That 16-foot box truck maybe can scale 6,000 pounds. That 24-foot box truck might be around 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. And then that 26-foot box truck can probably haul 8,000 to 10,000 pounds. Now, you're going to have to get a scale ticket and subtract that from your gross vehicle weight rating. We won't go too deep into that, but you gotta learn, you gotta do your own due diligence and figure out how much you weigh empty to know how much you're gonna be able to scale as far as freight. I'm just giving you broad numbers and a broad synopsis so you can have an idea on, depending on your equipment type, how many pallets you can hold in your truck and how much weight you can actually scale. Because if you don't know how much weight you can scale, how are you gonna know how much left you have to partial, right? So let's go ahead and go over the next chapter, which is going to be what is a partial versus a full truckload. I'm looking at the board, by the way. So a lot of people think partials are based on size. So they think that 1 pallet should pay less than 10 pallets and 1,000 pounds should pay less than 10,000 pounds. And that may sound like a pretty good logic that goes, pretty good in trucking. But the real way that freight is priced in trucking is not based on the size most of the time, right? Unless it's overweight or overdimensional. It's usually based on demand, right? So if a load is 1 pallet, but it needs to be there the same day, it's going to pay a better rate than, let's say, 14 pallets and it needs to be there, a month from now. So demand is going to drive rates way more than just the size. So you want to make sure you pay attention when going through the video on how, strategically make more money with these loads. The best way to make money with these loads are usually going to be having a full truckload that's less than half of the capacity of your truck and then adding partials along with it. So if I'm a 26-foot box truck and I know I can haul, let's say 12 pallets, if I have a full truckload rate paying $2.50 a mile, $2.50 a mile, let's say it's going, $1,200 on 500 miles, or let's say $2,500 on 1,000 miles, and it's only 5 pallets. That's the perfect opportunity to add a few more loads or pallets onto that truck, especially if you're nowhere near that weight threshold. Because if you're at 6 pallets, you may be less than 5,000 pounds, so you have a little bit of wiggle room to add more freight onto the truck. Now, I don't want to make any specific examples until we get on the load board. I just want to give you an idea on why demand is going to run most of your freight prices in this industry. And usually if you're looking to partial freight, you want to have a full truckload first and then add partials on top of that, right? You don't want to just book partial by partial. That can be very stressful, right? So let's talk about when to partial. I just gave you some insights on when I would partial. I only partial when I had a full truckload. I never put partial by partial. That doesn't mean other people don't do it or can't do it and won't get away with it. It's just harder and it's more riskier when you book partials for lesser, basically. But let's talk about when throughout the week you should partial. Me personally, I didn't partial every single day of the week. I would run a full truckload from Monday to Wednesday to kind of maximize as much as I could. And then I would start partialing up my truck from Wednesday to Friday or Thursday to Friday. So just keep that in mind. I would run 1 pick, 1 drop loads from Monday to Wednesday. And then once Thursday came around, Thursday and Friday, I would spend majority of the time picking up different full truckloads and partials, and then heading out Sunday after my 34-hour reset to drop the first load on Monday. Right? That's how you get the best. At least that's how I got the most bang for my bucks. I've had weeks exceeding $9,200 in a week with a flatbed hot shot with these same techniques. But even with a box truck, I know owner operators who have had a 10K plus week partialing within the Southeast with this method. Now that leads us to the next chapter then, Mike. So this is such a good thing to make money and an easy way to make money. Like, how often should you partial? And that's a very tricky question. You can partial as much as you want to, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of mental strain, a lot of emotional strain, and then also physical strain, right? You have a lot of physical strain going to these different shippers and receivers, and they all have different loading and unloading times. The flexibility might not be there. You may think that these partials may take you 1 day to unload, and it takes you 2 to 3 due to the receivers, not taking care of their responsibilities. So that can be very frustrating, and it can be taxing having to worry about all of these different things happening. I would have usually 1, maybe 2 weeks out of the month where I'm partialing my truck. I don't think it's too reasonable to partial every single load every like day out of the week. You're just going to be stressed. Now there are methods to where you can do this, right? But they're very stressful, but you will make the most amount of money if you do it correctly. And that takes us to the DAT1 load board to show the best way on DAT1, you know, to do this, right? So like I said, you guys will save 10% with a unique URL in the description. If you're brand new, make sure you guys sign up for that. This is also using DAT1 Office, but if you're brand new with one truck, I would highly recommend DAT1 Pro. It's going to give you 3 search options. I have 10 on Office, but you don't need 10. It's super expensive. But 3 is pretty good for you, especially when you're trying to book partials and get different ideas of where freight is going to be looking like. You also get 7-day lane rate averages, access to Canadian loads, and more. This is not financial advice, by the way. I'm not, you know, employed by DAT1, but I am a sponsored influencer, just showing you guys the best perks about the load board. All right, so let's go over an example, right? Let's just say I'm coming out of, let's just go for a broad market like Chicago. Coming out of Chicago, Illinois, I don't want to deadhead anymore or travel any more than 150 miles to pick up the freight. We're going to put straight box for this video. We're going to put 26 feet worth of freight, and let's just start off with 10,000 pounds. All right, let's see what we got on here. Let's just go to something highest rate per mile just so you guys can get an idea. All right, so all of these are showing 26 feet. Let's try this example right here. This is going to Nebraska though, and I don't like this. You also want to look at the trip miles, guys. Like when you're partialing freight, I would want a minimum of a 2-day trip to partial to not stress myself the hell out. It's really hard to partial on freight when your first load has to drop that next day. Giving you a couple of days to make it there gives you more leeway to partial better freight. And it also gives you more, you know, room for error, basically. Let's see. It's 26 feet, 10,000. It's a lot of freight on here. It's just nothing I like. All right, so let's just go to a high trip mile going to a decent market. Oklahoma, I think Texas would be fine. Let's say this one, all right? So this is what you need to know, all right? A lot of these loads, if you guys notice, are gonna be posted for 26 feet. But that doesn't mean it's gonna take the full capacity of your truck. So it's really important that as a freight carrier, you're asking the right questions. So when you're on the phone with the broker, just asking like, hey, you know, I'm calling on this load at Houston, Texas. You know, I can do it for 2,500. I'm empty in Chicago. I can come and pick this up, right? Let's just say they bite for 2,300 and you got 220 a mile. Cool. But while you're in the midst of that, you ask questions like, hey, I see it's 4,000 pounds. How many pallets is this, right? I want to know how many pallets it is. And then you want to ask a very important question. I'm gonna just be honest. You want to ask them if they're able to partial this freight. Brokers are just looking to get their loads covered, and they want to make sure you're going to get it there on time. They usually don't mind if you're trying to make a little bit of extra money. If you want to go the route of being a sneaky carrier and not putting the seal on the truck, breaking seals and all that stuff, this isn't the right video to be watching. I want to teach you guys practical ways to make relationships with these brokers so you're not effing yourself over, right? So, and these guys are probably going to ask for tracking too, especially if you need a US citizen driver. This might be a military base load, who knows, right? I don't know. But let's just say they say, you know, it's just 4 pallets. They even like to brag about it. They like to make the load seem simpler than what it is. Oh yeah, it's just 4 pallets. You know, the receivers are there from 7 to 3 and you can get there really at any time, right? So you want to make sure you're asking the right question, because if they let you know it's 4 pallets, I know instantly it's probably not going to be 4,000 pounds. But even if it is, I got a whole nother 8 to 10 pallets that I can add on to my 26-foot box truck. So let's say you found that load. It's going to Houston, Texas, paying you $2,300. We're just going to type in the destination. Then we're going to filter our options for, let's say if it was 4 pallets, let's just say we got another 16 feet of freight, and then on a weight, let's say 6,000 pounds, and it's going into Houston, Texas. All right, my bad. And it's going to Houston, Texas, and we're just gonna search, right? And it's not a ton of partials, right? I had to open up the deadhead in order to find something pretty, you know, close. Within the deadhead destination, they are going to be pretty far apart. And this is what you're going to have to toy with the most, because yeah, you find a couple of loads that you could pick up. Like you could pick up this 5 feet, slap it on the truck, and you got another $500. But does it really make sense to deadhead to Milwaukee for another 600 bucks. That's kind of up to you. Probably want to call on this load to get an idea of what it would pay, because you could drop this one first and then drop the Houston one next. So I'm just trying to give you guys different outlooks on what it actually looks like to partial in real time on the load board. So I don't want to draw this video out too long. I just wanted to give you guys a broad synopsis on what it's like to partial, what makes a partial, when's the best time to partial, and how to use DAT1 in your favor to make more money on this load board. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm always open to feedback, so if you could drop that down in the comments, that would be super helpful. On this side, I'm going to have how you can book your very first box truck load using DAT1. It's very broad and in-depth. I think it's like 40+ minutes long. Then we have a how to start your box truck business. This video is over an hour long, showing you how to get your USDOT and MC number after the post-modus identity verification process. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.